Hello and welcome to John's Author Diary for the week ending March the 20th, 2022. I've had a mixed bag of a week. Started off really bad. I was getting stuck on Trial of Thieves. I've been writing this book since September and I got to a point, I think it was on Tuesday, where I was sick of it. I didn't want to see it anymore. I hated it. And I don't know, I put it down to trying new methods and things like that, like the cycling method. So I decided to go back to what I used to do, to what worked with things like the Wasteland series and the Ravenglass Chronicles, which is basically I dictate the first draft, just get it out of my head, get it out of my system, and I did a bunch of scenes, loads of them. So the last few days have been really busy, just getting on with that, getting through the outline, getting through the book. Such a difference, it really is. So I think with Dawn of Assassins, that method worked really well for me, and for some reason it just hasn't worked at all. So I don't know. I think sometimes you just need to change things up. If something's not working, then just change. You know, it's worth it. So doing the dictation, I even tricked myself into getting up early as well. So I started work 6 a.m, getting up at 5:30 kind of time, and then just dictated a few scenes, 2 or 3 scenes before breakfast. So then by the time the day started, I'd already got ahead of myself. So that was really positive, really good. Really glad I did that. I feel like I'm finally back on track with that book. In terms of reading this week, I have read, I'm about 4 hours left on the audiobook of The Daylight War by Peter V. Brett. So this is part of his Demon Cycle series, third book in that. Been enjoying that series. It's a bit hit and miss. Some of it I really like, some of it I think is great. Some of it, I don't know, is, it's a bit rapey, let's say. So I don't like that stuff at all. So it's a mixed bag. But I really enjoy some of the characters, really enjoy some elements of the story. So it's definitely worth checking out if you can kind of deal with that stuff, which I am borderline, to be honest. I gave the last book 3 stars, I think, just because of, I don't know, I've seen it so many times and it's never done well. Like having, oh, this person got raped as a tragic backstory, and okay for one character, but there were several characters who had that, and it was just like I was very borderline whether I was going to carry on with the series, and it's only because there's a few characters who I really like that I did. So I'm still up in the air as to whether I'm going to carry on to book 5. I don't know yet, but because I'm at the end of book 3, I think I may as well. So we'll see. I don't know yet. We'll see how the ending of this current book goes. I also read a book called The Heroine's Journey, which is in opposition, I suppose, or in complement to The Hero's Journey. So a book about writing, book about story structure. Fascinating read. A lot of the stuff in there is, I didn't have a name for it, but it was basically stuff that I do with a lot of my stories. So, I like The Hero's Journey structure, but at the same time, I always thought there was something wrong with it, something missing, that it didn't apply to a lot of stories that I like to tell and enjoy. So this kind of answered that when I realised, that the Dawn of Assassins book is basically a heroine's journey rather than a hero's journey. That made a lot of sense. To me, I was drawing on stuff about, kind of influences from anime and things like that, where instead of it being an individual hero, you get the idea of friendship, the idea of people working together to defeat something much stronger than they are. And it's like this kind of strength in numbers kind of thing with people working together. So that was cool. As I say, it doesn't really make any difference because it's the stuff I'm doing anyway. But kind of, I like having a name for things. I like having the language to talk about it with other authors and things like that. So that's positive. In terms of next week, so I've got 2 more weeks until my wife and son are off, so they'll have an Easter holiday. So I really want to challenge myself. I want to try and get Trial of Thieves finished. Well, the first draft finished, because what I'll be left with is going to be a mess. I know it's going to be a mess, but I don't care because I need to get through it. And it's faster doing that, having to kind of repair the mess that it ends up with when dictating, than that cycling method, which, it's worked for me in the past, it's worked for other people, but I'm sick of getting stuck, sick of feeling like I'm stuck with this novel. So 6 months. I know I've done book launches. I know I've done outlines. I know I've done other things. But 6 months with one story is too long. So I need to just get that out of my head. And I think when I've done that, I'm going to go straight on to do the first Ravenglass Legends book. I really want to write that. I'm biting at the bit to get that out of my head as well. And then I'll go on to probably the book 3, Crucible of Shadows, in that series. So a lot going on. It's going to be interesting times. I just need to feel more settled in myself and just get this book finished because I am frustrated with it. So first draft, that's the priority. I'm now not having this thing where it's going to be finished draft per chapter. It is literally get through, messy, crappy, horrible first draft will be there, but at least it's something I can then polish and work on. So lots to do, but looking forward to it anyway. I feel a bit more energised about the series now because I identified what I hope is the problem, of which there have been many for this series, for this book at least. So until next time, cheerio.